try and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
A to-be-auctioned portrait by a famous Mexican painter could shatter records if it sells for the amount experts have been talking about.
A self-portrait by Frida Kahlo will be sold at auction in November. El Sueño La Cama, in English, The Dream, the Bed, has an estimated price of $40 to $60 million. The painting, created in 1940, depicts Kahlo in a 4-poster bed with a skeleton lying atop it. It's part of a November 8th sale featuring over 100 surrealist works. It may surpass the highest price for a female artist's work, currently $44.4 million, for Georgia O'Keeffe's Jimson Weed White Flower No. 1. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
A new dating show is causing consternation in the majority Muslim country of Pakistan. The show features Pakistani contestants. It's hosted by a well-known actress and filmed in Istanbul, Turkey. It'll only be available on YouTube, which means Pakistan's broadcasting regulator can't take action against it if people complain. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Mint is still...
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Warm weather continues today with sun, some clouds, and a high of 85, but clouds give way to the risk for a spotty thundershower late tonight, low 64, leading to clouds and sun tomorrow, perhaps another thunderstorm, high 81. Tuesday brings the risk for severe weather with showers and a thunderstorm around that may bring gusty winds and small hail, high 75. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
In the wake of Charlie Kirk's killing, there's been no shortage of inflammatory political and social media commentary. But not from 3 Pennsylvania leaders we want to commend. Governor Josh Shapiro called for universal condemnation of the assassination, saying political violence has no place in our country. Both of our U.S. senators are on the same page. Dave McCormick said violence is never the answer, no matter your politics. And John Fetterman said, we must collectively find a way forward during these polarizing times. These messages cross party lines at a critical time. Both of the state's political parties released nonpartisan statements as well. The Republican Party said Kirk's murder tears at the fabric of our nation. The new chairman of the state's Democratic Party said, political violence is always wrong. Eugene DePasquale went on to say Pennsylvanians know all too well the devastation of an act of violence like this. Since the connection between toxic rhetoric and political violence is clear, let's take the high road and bring as many Americans as possible along with us.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Frax on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Sunday morning with your Pratt Pack and a memorial service for conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Arizona today is set to feature President Trump, Kirk's widow Erica Kirk, and more than a half a dozen top Trump administration figures addressing what could be a capacity crowd. Kirk, the 31-year-old co-founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed as he spoke at an event at Utah Valley University on September 10th. A 22-year-old suspect has been charged with aggravated murder. So, let me just say, it's time for us to think about moving forward. Peaceful debate, discussing issues that are relevant, that are going to change the course of our country's history. But the thing that I will take away from this story, and I've covered so many stories that have so many significant issues throughout my career here at KDKA since the mid-'80s, all of them leave a lasting impression in one form or another. But this one has left me with this. We have to find a way to continue to debate. We have to get the whole story as opposed to clips or just a few sentences. And we have to be peaceful. We have to respect human life. We have to be decent. We have to be respectful. But at all times, we must realize what our country was built on. The foundation, that Declaration of Independence, that giant step to break away, wanting a different way in this country. And layer upon layer of time has come and gone in this country. But the one constant that separates us from any place else on this planet is our beloved democracy and that freedom of speech and that right to speak, but also to be respectful, to lend a shoulder, an ear, somebody who needs somebody to basically communicate with, to take time to do that. But also, as I've been saying, and I'm going to say it again, if we want to survive to 300 and beyond, as we approach 250, the United States of America must get back to faith, family, patriotism, and teaching future generations about the sacrifices that were made so we could get to this point. That's what we need to do in America. As this service will unfold later today, let's take a step into the future, being respectful, but more importantly, continuing to debate the issues. After Shenley High School's closing, alumni keep school spirit alive with artifacts. This is from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. When the Pittsburgh Public School Board closed Shenley High School in 2008, it didn't just shutter classrooms, it shuttered memories. Those memories spilled into basements, closets, and attics across Pittsburgh, where alumni still keep yearbooks, trophies, and even red Spartan towels that were once waved like the terrible towels. I think most of you know how much I love the city of Pittsburgh and the history of the Pittsburgh Public Schools. For many years, while doing television, I made it a point in production meetings, because I was kind of the anchor and leading this show for decades. I always made it a point to send camera crews to Couples Stadium or to various gymnasiums to cover the city schools. And I remember covering Shenley's success on the basketball court, but also covering the end of an era. And I know one day while driving on Center Avenue, I realized that I was out in front of the building which was once Fifth Avenue. I'm telling all of you, the reason why I get up every day and I come here with a purpose of trying to create a foundation for working class, middle class, and to build the tax base and to keep what we have left, and why I was so driven to get the U.S. Steel deal done with Nippon Steel. Because we have to continue to create jobs that will put good paychecks into the hands of men and women in this region, but especially the heartbeat, the main artery, Pittsburgh, which is all of our cities, and that crown jewel that is the Pittsburgh Public Schools. Look, my connection was athletics, but there's much more to these schools than athletics. It's education, it's tradition, it's the alumni who continue to pour into the streets in this region, doing incredible things every day. And I don't want any more of this tradition to be lost. I want to remember the Fifth Avenues. I want to remember the Shenleys. But I want to hang on to the schools that we now have. And I want them to be here long after I'm behind this great microphone that I've been so privileged to be a part of for 4+ decades. I'm telling you now more than ever, we need to make sure that the resources that are public education, the brick and mortar, the Pittsburgh Public Schools, stay with us. Because there are young people coming up through the city of Pittsburgh who want the same opportunity that my generation did, as did the greatest generation. Memories are great, artifacts are wonderful, but more importantly, living in the present and giving young people an opportunity to get that incredible, rich education in the public schools of Pittsburgh, but also to be able to create memories of their own as they walk through those hallways as we begin another school year. Tradition is everything, but today is the future. All right, there you go. Just some things to get us started today. From one side of that national story to a local story, that's what we do every time we get together on the radio. And it's great to have you here for a Sunday morning. And don't forget, you can always listen to us at 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. You can also watch us online with our KDKA video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to kdkradio.com and click on Watch KDKA Radio Livestream. Or now you can just go to our KDKA Radio YouTube page, where you can see everything going on in the studio. We're going to take some calls this hour, 866-391-1020. And also, NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows is a click away. Email us at instantAccess@KDKA. Short break. Coming back. Your calls coming up next.
Tune in to 1020 KDKA Radio for Medical Frontiers with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer from the Allegheny Health Network every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Dr. Pfeiffer and his special guests will cover the information that you want to know about your health and the latest trends in medicine.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. A Pittsburgh tradition. Pitt, Penn State, Ohio State off yesterday. West Virginia saw action. They lost to Kansas 41-10. Dukes were beaten by Akron 51-7. Head coach of the Duquesne Dukes, Jerry Schmidt, joins us today at 11:30 on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Robert Morris lost to Dayton 17-14. Steelers today at 1, a slight favorite at New England. And the Pirates got a strong pitching performance from Bubba Chandler, who struck out the sides in the first inning, ended up with 6 strikeouts, 5 innings of shutout ball. As we had homers yesterday from Nick York and Brian Reynolds as they beat Oakland 2-0. Final home game of the year today as they take on the Athletics. First pitch 1:35. Get to PNC Park for all the action as well. Heard on 93.7 The Fan. And the Riverhounds victorious against Hartford 2-1. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Have you been told there's nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that is not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like Janie from West Homestead. Janie's neuropathy pain limited her activities to where she couldn't stand long enough to cook a meal. She feared she might need a wheelchair. Then Janie found Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Their effective FDA-approved treatment program greatly improved Janie's neuropathy, and she considers her decision to use Tri-State Neuropathy Centers as a wise investment in her health and future. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers helped Janie, along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676.
I'm Sia and I support Humane World for Animals. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Listen Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, 866-391-1020, number to dial. We have just 1 hour of open talk, but we will be here all week, beginning at 6 in the evening, some guests, but really going to set aside a lot of airspace for open talk because there's a lot of things people want to talk about, and I don't want to shortchange anybody. All right, here's Joanne, Point Breeze. Hey, Joanne, good morning.
Good morning, Rob. And you're absolutely right. If you got education, when we were coming up, you got an education. You got the things you needed, the reading, the writing, the social studies, the history, not always the right history, but you learned, and you did not have what's going on now with these children who's ruling and making decisions about what they can do and what they can't. But the main thing I did want to talk about, what's happening with this country. When we were born, when I took care of sick patients, we were not the left, the right, the Democrats, the Republicans, the progressive. We were human beings, and they have forgotten that. It gives them a little bit of energy to say it was a left. No, it wasn't. It was a human being that just had a different opinion than you did. And people can't get that. I don't know. They get that energy when they start calling names, and when they start, it makes them feel better. They can say it's the left or the right or the Republican. We're human beings, people. The other thing, I think that there's so many copycats out there. I think this funeral should be with families and good friends. I think there should be a memorial service later on. But to make a spectacle and have these politicians there speaking, this is a political arena that they are going to have. You have to respect this man for whatever it was he did, because a lot of people did not know him. A lot of people did, but a lot of people didn't. But what's going on with this nonsense is just unbelievable. It's a difference between a funeral and trying to invite as many people. And a lot of people come because a lot of people like to be spectators. And this is a sad state in America. And when you talk about freedom of speech, and it's only good for certain people, this is a shame. It's more like North Korea, the Nazis, Russia, China. This is the same. If you shouldn't be concerned about what the heck is going on, something is absolutely wrong with you. These people cannot, because they have their money or whatever, stop people from saying because it's not what they want. This is sad. You ought to be really afraid of what they're going to do, knock on your door and pull you out. That has happened. But anyway, God bless America, Rob. This what's going on is just not America. Thank you.
All right, Joanne. Let's go to Kathy in Imperial. Kathy, all yours. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Rob. How are you?
I'm good. All ready to go for another marathon Sunday. So what's on your mind this morning?
Well, the funeral of Charlie Kirk is on my mind this morning.
By the way, 2 o'clock today, KDKA Radio will be carrying part of that, so you're going to want to tune in for that if you're on the road. Go ahead.
Okay. So I called you yesterday, and you were up against a guest. We didn't really have a chance to. You didn't have a chance to respond. I'll talk about it again. About what I see happening with the young people that I am involved with. And I had mentioned yesterday that I spent 3 hours with my 25-year-old son, and I'm very encouraged to hear that a lot of people in that age group, this has ignited a fire under them in a really good way. A lot of the young men that he talks to are really thinking about, they need to get serious about what they're going to do with their lives, be a father, have children, maybe go back to church, stuff like that. So I'm seeing it we all see life from whatever angle we're standing in. And the angle that I'm standing in looks very hopeful, specifically from this tragedy with Charlie Kirk being silenced for his freedom of speech. And what I see happening is, one voice was taken away, but now literally thousands, I believe, will take his place in a good way. And it's not, I don't want to name names of other callers. I don't want to be that person, but just different callers that call in with the polar opposite view, where this is like a scary time. And, from my angle, I don't see that. I think it's very encouraging, because I think that it's making a lot of people think, especially young people. And the things that the response that they want to give to this is with their life and with their life choices and being a better man or a better person. And how could that be a bad thing, So, me included, it really, I'm already very vocal about my faith, and I live it to the best of my ability. But I don't know, it just, this you've responded to this in whatever you're into, whatever your thing is. And
well, here's what's mind-boggling. It's putting all politics aside. Here's a young man, father of two, who certain sound bites were taken and it painted a different picture. And yeah, maybe he has said some things that, we all don't agree upon. But this is this is the point that people are missing. He was murdered in cold blood on, this massive platform. And you're going to have 100,000 people at his service today, president, members of the Trump administration. But we are now moving on to other things, other topics. And it's like, shouldn't we all be a little worried about what we have just witnessed? And shouldn't we spend a little bit more time on this story? How do we stop it? Crime, punishment, rectifying it, getting back to debate. But people that, were so willing to jump in and talk to me about this, even off the air, they've kind of turned the page already. And I started thinking, literally last night, have we become so callous in this country that this has almost become commonplace? And that's sad, and that's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, especially when you saw the response of a group of young people who not only wanted to turn the page, but celebrated it. That right there is, I don't even have a word to describe it. I just, the disconnect of the humanity, of a human being losing their life in such a manner, and to be able to just, them celebrating it or mocking it, making fun of it, whatever, that disconnect is something to be concerned about. It really is. I'm just worried for that part of our young people that have gotten that calloused and are that blinded, and I will say indoctrinated by whatever it is. I mean, you could pick a whole bunch of different things that they're indoctrinated by, but that's not normal. That's not even normal, like human nature, like, and just being a human being. Like, to witness someone be murdered like that and have no any kind of like normal human emotion about it is, I don't know, it's very interesting. And of course, I look at the spiritual aspect of things, and that could be a whole other call. But, yeah, I'm encouraged for the most part. Today I'm kind of glad it's the memorial. I need to move on from it in the proper sense, and just, I feel like I have. I feel like I've reckoned with what I need to do with my feelings about it, and it just makes me also want to try harder and continue to just do my little part in this world.
Good point. Good point.
Representing the Lord like I can. And that's what I always tell my kids, too. I said, there's so many things that need done. All you need to do is find out what your role is. What is the thing that you bring to the table?
There you go.
God's given us all gifts.
Mm-hmm.
He's given us all abilities. And I tell my kids, find the thing that you do well
and do it. It's that simple. Kathy, I got to get to the news here. I appreciate the call very much. We'll be here all week if you want to call back. We're going to get to Ted on the other side. I think Mary Hour is going to drop by First Alert Forecast. Hopefully we're going to get some rain this week. We could sure use it. So let me just ask you this in the final 30 minutes that we have of Open Talk. What would you like to see the next step after this service today? Where would you like to see the country go? What would you really be appreciative of if you started to see X, Y, and Z happening after this service today? And again, we're going to carry part of it today beginning at 2 o'clock on KDKA Radio. It's a national story, and that's what we do here. We cover stories. And it's I mean, when you think of filling up a NFL football stadium and a hockey arena, that's the story, and that's what we do at KDKA. 866-391-1020. Where do we go from here? What would you like to see happen next in our America? It's your Pratt Pack.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
At PJ Fitzpatrick, you don't have to pick between affordability and quality. You can get American-made windows that are beautiful, affordable, and energy efficient. PJ Fitzpatrick has a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Plus, they provide peace of mind with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor for your new windows. You can have it all. Visit TrustPJ.com for a free design consultation. That's TrustPJ.com.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we are here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. Tens of thousands of people are expected at today's memorial service for conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Glendale, Arizona. President Trump will speak. He talked about Kirk last night.
He was unbelievable. He had just an army of young people. They loved him so much. I mean, they're devastated right now. Everybody's devastated.
France will formally recognize the right of Palestinians to have a state of their own. French President Emmanuel Macron on CBS's Face the Nation.
The recognition process and the peace plan which goes with this recognition process is a precondition.
Bills to limit the activities of local, state, and federal law enforcement have been signed into law by California Governor Gavin Newsom. At the signing ceremony, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass.
All of this legislative resistance is to protect Angelenos from our own federal government.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
This is Ryan Schlabel with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. We've been saving people time, money, and stress for over a decade. You don't have to list with an agent, make any repairs, or have a long closing process. Just call 412-500-9057 for a good fit, come to the house, make you a cash offer on the spot. My team will handle the rest. Dealing with a complicated situation? No problem. Call 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com for a cash offer today.
Support St. Anthony School programs and help students with special needs achieve their full potential through inclusive education, therapy services, and job skills development, serving students ages 5 through 21 with Down syndrome, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Find them within select Catholic schools in the Pittsburgh area, including a post-secondary program at Duquesne University. For over 70 years, St. Anthony School has empowered students of all faiths to live independently and contribute meaningfully to society. Learn more or donate at satanthonykids.org. Save big and head to your local Toro dealer for the end of summer sales event on now. Groundbreaking savings on Toro Zero Turn, stand on and walk behind mowers. Stop in today to check out the great deals and amazing finance offers. For more information on the end of summer sales event deals, visit your local Toro dealer. Penn Hills Rental at 11125 Frankstown Road or call 412-242-6777. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 412-242-6777.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings more than enough sunshine for a warm day with a high of 85, but clouds return tonight with a spotty thundershower late, low 64. Tomorrow may also bring a thunderstorm with a high of 81, with a better chance of precip for Tuesday as showers and a thunderstorm arrive. Any storm may bring gusty winds and small hail, high 75. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, be back on Monday, and I will actually be on location. Foge Fazio Golf Tournament at Edgewood, but nonetheless, we'll have a great time. I'll talk to you on Monday. Colin Dunlap right here, 2 to 6, KDK.
All right, your Pratt Pack. We're right back at it, and we'll be with you all week as well, beginning at 6 in the evening. Lots of things in store coming up, including State Rep Josh Kale. We'll have him on tomorrow night. We'll talk about the legacy of Charlie Kirk, hours removed from today's service. Again, we're going to carry some of that today beginning at 2 o'clock. 866-391-1020. Before Mary Hours gets in here with that first alert forecast, let's take care of a little business on the phone lines. Ted, Mount Washington. He is on the air on KDK. Good morning, Ted.
What's going on, Rob?
Hoping for some rain. I planted a little bit of grass seed yesterday, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of rain later tonight.
I hope so. It's a little bit too dry out there.
Oh, it is, man. My yard has seen better days for sure. What's on your mind today?
Yeah. But real quick, what can we learn? Look, Rob, I'm not naive. This is America. It's a 3-day country, man. 3 days, we're on to something else. But I hope and pray that we as Americans understand we're not doomed. Okay? We need to start talking about the future. And also, we need to provide a path for our young kids. We got to give them, we have to be committed to great education, health care, housing, get our politicians to work, because there's a lot of things we need to clean up in this country, get our deficit in control. We're spending way too much money. As far as faith, look, I always said this, we got some evil people in the world. Hopefully they can go to church or wherever they go and ask God to take the horns off their heads. And, you know, and we do. We have to understand that we all we got, regardless of your political leanings, which to me, you know, politics is politics. You know, to me, it's not really real life. Real life is your friends, neighbors, your community. You know, no one walks around asking, you know, are you R or you D? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's to me, I think the media, it to me, just ruined politics. Absolutely ruined. We're watching too many diddleheads. So, I mean, that's just my spell. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
So Ted, let me ask you: would you rather hear more just news as opposed to talking heads and those who are those political pundits, not just on the Sunday morning shows? Because, I mean, Meet the Press, Face the Nation, Good Morning America, they, you know, shows like that, they have content to them more than just opinions, right? They have guests that have opinions, but it's more just hardcore news. What would you rather see?
Well, I wish KK and everybody would go back to hyperlocal. Okay? We used to have that. You would hear great stories, especially around Pittsburgh, around your area. And to me, that really hit home. I would love more of that, more about the community, you know, and more about towns we don't know. You know, around the area, they're doing great things. There's a lot of positive news out there. But I also know it's a business, Rob. You know as well as I do. A lot of your pundits get paid millions of dollars doing the same thing over and over again. And I told you, you know, a lot of people have been in journalism for years, said they ruined the media. Absolutely ruined, because you're not getting news. You're getting somebody's opinion. I don't mind that, but I don't want it all the time.
See, the reason I think talk radio is so important because it's more than just me pontificating on a high horse. It's give and take. It's like actually giving the real people of this country an opportunity to speak. That's why I believe talk radio is having such a huge resurgence, because people want to talk these issues and they get comfortable with certain hosts who they kind of consider neighbors, friends, family, because they've been connecting for so many years. But I think just people force-feeding you their opinion and not having a chance to respond, to me, that's not the direction we need to go in. We need to be able to have the average person, the real hardworking people of America, a chance to speak and to voice their opinion, because they are the ones that are going to make the difference. It's not the politicians. It's not me. It's people in my audience that have opinions. Those are the people that are going to make a difference.
Oh, I agree with you, Rob. But see, when you retire, that's going to be it.
Well, no.
You're rare, extremely rare.
Everybody's replaceable. Everybody's replaceable.
But that's what they say about, Walter Cronkite. It hasn't been the same.
You know what? Listen, that guy, I don't know if it was just the time, but Dan Rather did okay, but boy, that's never, and that's my go-to. I mean, CBS is my life. I mean, that will always be my first love and everything they do. But isn't it amazing how, people have been talking a lot about late night. What's happened to the evening anchor spot? I mean, my goodness, that was like you turn the radio down only at, Walter Cronkite, or when Bill Burns and Patty were on. I mean, local news, and KD is still very important. Ken Rice, people like that. I love it. I always try to get a little bit every day. But, I mean, that evening news has really changed, has it not? And all the people that they have tried, from Katie Couric and Connie Chung, really great people. Brian Gumbel, it never worked. It just never worked.
Well, it never worked because they're not really reporting news. A lot of them report entertainment. Rob, I'm telling you, it's if you look at the content of your news today, compare it back to 20 years ago, it's buffoonery. I mean, it's literally buffoonery. It's more entertainment than absolutely substance. I always say this: what makes one conservative different than the next?
Mm-hmm.
They're all talking heads. Same thing with liberals. You didn't CNN, and I'm glad when you talk about Ted Turner, you didn't know what political leanings they were doing all the time.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's garbage in what they're doing.
Ted Turner was great.
Even Fox News.
Listen, I'm going to say it again. If they're going in a different direction, one of these networks has to step up and say, we're going to go with the 2 chairs, 1 spotlight, a set in the round, somebody like a Larry King and whoever, entertainer, newsmaker, go live like at 9 o'clock prime time, and then basically air it at 11:30 on the East Coast for 90 minutes. Take phone calls during that 9 o'clock hour like Larry King did. And if you have breaking news, reporters with the network all over the country, go live back and forth, because anybody who's a good moderator or a good person that can multitask and do the Q&A thing, they can interact with reporters as the story unfolds. It would become giant. I mean, Larry King did it forever. We all do. He got older. But Ted Turner was a genius with that. And if one of these networks want to continue to do something in that time slot, and they want to be able to generate revenue and ratings, I think that's the way to go. And there won't be a lot of overhead. And I think there's somebody out there who could handle that. I really believe that.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing I give Charlie Kirk a lot of credit. He actually went to the source.
He did.
In other words, we don't really think about that. He actually went to the source. He went to people. Okay? That, in a sense, the guy wasn't even a journalist. He didn't even go to college. But he had enough sense to go to the people and debate them, listen to their opinion and everything else. Where were our reporters? Where were our journalists? If we want to find out what young people are thinking today, talk to them.
That's it.
Listen to them.
That's it.
Go to them.
That's absolutely correct. And I would even do, that type of show that I just mentioned And I would basically, what even Larry King did, he was older, but he still had some of the top artists of the era who were 30 years younger than him. And he had people like Sinatra, and he had people like Benjamin Netanyahu, whoever the prime minister of Israel was. I mean, the guy did everything. Presidents, vice presidents. That's what we need today, variety. But you need young eyes. And it could basically turn into what they follow on social media, but it could be on a network program. We need our networks to be who they are. The leader in information. We need to get... I love Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation. I catch her every Sunday in that 10 o'clock hour when I'm preparing for Black and Gold Sunday. I absolutely revere her. I think Nora O'Donnell did a great job. I think maybe they pulled the plug on her a little too early. But we need our newscast. We need this stuff now more than ever. We need information. And I don't want to see late night go away. I don't. It's been a part of my life forever. Anyway, Teddy, great stuff. We're here all week. Call back. All right, Mary Hours, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So are you going to give me some rain? Because after a long day yesterday, I basically sleptwalked and planted some grass seeds. So am I going to get a little rain this week?
Yeah, we're going to get some rain. You know, it really looks like we're going to get some rain here on tomorrow, so Monday. And then we have the chance pretty much every single day. So today is today will be the 15th day with no measurable precipitation. We may see a late shower around like 11 o'clock tonight, but the best chance it's going to be tomorrow. There'll be some scattered showers, a few thunderstorms. The temperatures are still in the 80s, but it looks about 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening is when we should get a nice good downpour. But, I mean, it's still nothing too widespread, but it is at least our best shot that we have here soon. And then every day through the rest of the week, it does cool down into the mid-70s. Fall also begins tomorrow. And then, yeah, we have the chance of rain pretty much every single day. So it's going to be a little dreary week, I suppose, but, I mean, we need it.
All right, last thing before you go, does the fall actually have any influence on the weather, or is it just the fall and we move into chillier and colder temperatures because the days get shorter? But the significance of fall, does that mean anything as far as the weather is concerned?
Yeah, I think, whenever we do enter the fall season, we're still also in hurricane season, but it's been very quiet. We have big temperature swings for the most part. The jet stream changes. We have the sun angle that changes. So, as the seasons change, the weather should be changing too, but so far it's felt like summer still.
So how does it feel to be back up early on the weekends again?
Am I honest?
Yeah, it's tough. Listen, it's tough. I'll give you one fun fact.
I hate it.
I'll give you one fun fact. So I had the 8 o'clock hour off yesterday because we had a best of show, and I had to go move my car. And I was out on the sidewalk here in Greentree, and a beautiful day, and I just sat down on the stoop for like 5 minutes, and I realized that was the first Saturday morning that I was outside at 8 o'clock since 1984.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
I mean, is that not staggering?
Yeah.
I mean,
that
put it in perspective. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I can't. I couldn't do that.
Right.
I miss my sleeping in on the weekends and having like a normal life with the family and not being a zombie. I just feel like, when you don't get sleep, my kids still you need to put them to bed at night, 8, 9 o'clock, and I'm obviously not going to miss out on that. And, or 10 o'clock, who knows, like if it's the weekend or if we have plans, but I don't like change their plans for me because I'll suck it up and I'll take a nap or something. But yeah, it's rough waking up in the middle of the night.
It is. Well, you won't be doing it forever. Listen, have a great day, and I do appreciate you coming on here on Sundays, okay?
Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
All right, the great Mary Hours. Believe me, she got star power. She's going to be doing a lot of great things in her lifetime. All right. Yeah, but look, this is my life. I love it. I wouldn't know what to do. I'll have to find something to do soon because it can't go on forever. But I don't know. I was standing outside today again, looking up and down the street that I have lived on now on and off for the last couple of decades, and it's the life I've chosen, and it's a good thing. All right, we got Dorian in McKees Rocks. We'll come back and spend a little time with him on the phone, and anybody else wants to get in here, feel free. 866-391-1020. Catholic Education coming up today, plus 6:30 Tech Vibe Radio right after local news at 6. And then Doug will be here at 7. 8 o'clock, Frank and I are going to be talking all sorts of good stuff in the Coons Cooking Hour. Just Carlos, Greater Pitt Tree Service at 9, Accurate Solutions, and then the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, Week 3 in the National Football League. It's your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. A Pittsburgh tradition. Pitt, Penn State, Ohio State off yesterday. West Virginia saw action. They lost to Kansas 41-10. Dukes were beaten by Akron 51-7. Head coach of the Duquesne Dukes, Jerry Schmidt, joins us today at 11:30 on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Robert Morris lost to Dayton 17-14. Steelers today at 1, a slight favorite at New England. And the Pirates got a strong pitching performance from Bubba Chandler, who struck out the sides in the first inning, ended up with 6 strikeouts, 5 innings of shutout ball. We had homers yesterday from Nick York and Brian Reynolds as they beat Oakland 2-0. Final home game of the year today as they take on the Athletics. First pitch 1:35. Get to PNC Park for all the action as well. Heard on 93.7 The Fan. And the Riverhounds victorious against Hartford 2-1. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Folks, Marty, you know how I feel about MediConnect. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable entity and agency, and they're so interested in helping you. So, don't let a medical emergency become a financial emergency. They're teams at MediConnect. They see this happen far too often. Call them to meet in your home, online, or in their office to discuss Medicare plans and the right one for you. There are 70 different options. Medicare plans in this region. The best part, no fee for any of their services. 888-818-6334. MediConnect.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Join us as we celebrate our hometown heroes Wednesday, October 15th at Rivers Casino, including Jerome Bettis and Lucas Pyatt, plus John Cole, Melinda Kalizai, Bernard Alexander, Lynn Banaszak, and Dwayne Brown. Larry's Hometown Heroes, proudly presented by Debbie Hampson and NRG, and brought to you by Pyatt Companies, McGuire Memorial, North Shore Tavern and Mike's Beer Bar, Levin Furniture, PNC Bank, The Corey Firm, LaFace and McGovern Associates, and CNX. Get your tickets at KDKA-Radio.com.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, let's get Dorian up and on the air here in McKees Rocks. Hey, Dorian, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Oh, every day I'm tuned into KDKA, but earlier you asked, what do you want the most? I just want the truth. I don't want to have to try to figure out if I'm and try to think through the verbiage to get to the truth. And I want our elected officials just to tell the truth, just about that. I can get by with just listening to it.
All right, sounds good, Dorian. Thanks for the call. Always good hearing from you. Yeah, look. So what is the truth? What a way to kind of sum up the things we've been talking about the last 2 days. The truth really lies within our own heart. You got to be true to yourself. And you have to be able to do things that are rational decisions. With all these swirling headlines that are not good, we have to filter out the negative and stay on the positive. And after this service today, we need to get ready to go back to work. You know how when you work Mondays, you start, I know my dad did, I kind of do it, you start planning ahead. Even though, I work on Sunday. Sunday night, you just start thinking, okay, I got to get up and go to work tomorrow evening and take care of business. And I have a lot of stuff I do in the home studio throughout the week to kind of get ready for the show, right? But I want you to add something else to your plate. And I know all of you have a lot on that plate, and I get it. But just say, I'm going to start trying to listen a little bit more, be a little more compassionate, be a little bit more understanding to people who may not have what I have. Because believe me, I may have worked a lot, but I'm in a beautiful studio talking to some great people on the station I've loved since I was a kid, 1967, right? When I got my first transistor radio. So I'm not out swinging a sledgehammer, doing construction and perspiring and getting calluses on my hand like the great men and women who have the Carpenters Union. Those people work hard. I work, but they work hard. But you got to start looking at more than just your body of work, because it's what that body of work is that you're going to leave behind that is really going to write your legacy. Look, no matter what I've done in this business, there will be somebody to replace me, and I will be an afterthought. Look, I came in here when there were legends working here. And if I would mention to somebody in their 20s right now or 30s, they may not even know any of these people. But you know your mom and dad. You know the life lessons that they taught you. You know what your grandparents have taught you. You know what brothers and sisters teach each other. Friends, neighbors, family. So let's try to start this week off in this country, no matter where you're listening to me, no matter who you are, no matter how many zeros you have at the end of your name, race, religion, doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican. Let's all just try to be better human beings and to give everybody an opportunity to answer, to respond. And don't be so quick to judge, okay? But what I really want you to concentrate on is respecting each other, understanding how precious life is. And if somebody loses it, that precious gift that is life, be sorry, be prayerful, be compassionate. That's another word that we're just not enough in this country. Be compassionate. So I guess if I could leave you with anything, that's what I'm going to leave you with. Respect and compassion. Starting the week off on the right foot. Getting out of bed tomorrow and saying, you know what? I'm going to listen to what that Pratt Pack guy had to say, and I'm going to try to take a little bit of time to look at the big picture. And I can tell you this, that picture will never look brighter, clearer, or better if we just follow some little steps as we step into another week. And obviously, life after this service today, remembering Charlie Kirk. And again, we'll have some of that today beginning at 2 on KDK. We'll be back in a couple of hours. It's your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Our British broadcast friend Raymond Clark.
Every new election that we have every 4 years, every 5 years, each government, each prospective party says, special relationship. And there have been those, myself included, that have been wondering whether this special relationship is all it's cracked up to be in recent times.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I'm talking with John Diagardi of Rome Monument about something he feels people should avoid. John, can you elaborate?
I sure can, Rob. When a loved one passes, their spouse and relatives are under stress. They feel pressure to get things taken care of quickly.
Is that not a good idea?
Not when it comes to the monument. Rob, when the funeral is over, when everyone goes home, the monument is the one thing that is permanent. 50, Even 100 years from now, that monument will still be there. Families need to take time to make decisions about the best way to memorialize their loved one.
John, how can families avoid making a costly mistake?
People shouldn't make quick decisions under stress that they'll regret later. For over 80 years, Roe Monument has helped thousands of families create a lasting tribute to their loved ones. And when you're ready, Roe Monument will be there.
Great advice, John. Friends, visit one of Roe Monument's 9 showrooms or learn more at roemonuments.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 65 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is dead after a mobile home caught fire and reports of an explosion in Westmoreland County. It happened Saturday evening in the 100 block of Round Top Circle in East Huntington Township. Westmoreland County coroner said that an elderly man in a wheelchair died as a result of that fire. He has not been publicly identified. Right now, the cause of that fire is under investigation. A man is in custody following a 13-hour standoff in Pittsburgh's Knoxville neighborhood. Allegheny County Sheriff's Office says 30-year-old Zachary Livingston was finally arrested on Friday night. After being on the roof of a home on Alice Street and Grimes Avenue, Livingston has a number of active warrants out of West Mifflin and in Westmoreland County. Livingston now faces new charges, including risking catastrophe and multiple counts of recklessly endangering another person. An ice hockey complex was evacuated after high carbon dioxide levels were detected inside, and children reported feeling sick. The Alpha Ice Complex in Harmer Township was evacuated Saturday afternoon just after 5:30. There was a tournament going on at the time of the evacuation. Firefighters ventilated the building. Police say a malfunctioning Zamboni and an air recirculator issue are believed to be what caused the high carbon dioxide levels. The Alpha Ice Complex is scheduled to reopen today. Well, authorities in New Hampshire say a shooting at a country club on Saturday has left at least one person dead, and several others wounded. The shooting appears to have taken place during a wedding, and authorities say a suspect is in custody. This woman was inside the country club when the shooting occurred.
I first initially hit under the table with a tablecloth. So then the next thought is, okay, am I safe here? Am I a sitting duck? I mean, what's going to happen? Is this guy going to come through? Is he going to be looking under tablecloths? Is he going to be, just shooting everyone in the room? I mean, you don't know.
Authorities say there's no further danger to the public. And a memorial service for conservative activist Charlie Kirk is expected to draw a large crowd today. Service is being held at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Here's CBS's Stephen Kaufman.
Security is reportedly on high alert for today's Charlie Kirk Memorial Service in Arizona. The Department of Homeland Security has designated Kirk's Memorial a Level 1 special event, the highest possible rating, matching Super Bowl level security planning. Officials state this designation is one step below a national special security event, which would be Olympic security